mail call time.
Mail call.
Mail call.
Love it.
That beautiful track you're hearing up under us is by our good pal Matt Crowder, one of JP's lifelong best friends. The song
Since high school.
Long
enough. Yeah, are you really even alive before high school?
Well, when you get our age, high school was like a lifetime.
It might
ago,
as well
so,
be, yeah.
But yeah, that's one of JP's longtime friends. The song is actually called Me and JP. It's about looking for gold, and I don't want to tell you any more than that because the song has a few little twists and turns. It's a really good listen. Highly advise you go check it out. It's actually on YouTube. You can just YouTube Me and JP by Matt Crowder. Of course, we recommend after you listen to it, if you like it, go wherever you can stream music and download it. It's only like $1 something.
Yeah. Really good
track.
tune. Really great story song, country ballad. And not like country, like just a really solid song. And we were actually talking about doing a podcast about the story behind it, getting Matt back in here.
Absolutely.
That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Matt was great. If you hadn't heard him, warning, our random ramblings yesterday got a little crazy.
Went a little off the rails.
But it was really good. But parental advisory, man, that is probably the most un-kid-friendly podcast we've ever done.
That's how I like it.
We talk about sexual fluids in space and stuff. But go check it out. It's a good one if you hadn't heard it already. In the meantime, let's get this show on the road. My name is Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead. We obviously talk a little bit about The Walking Dead. Well, we talk a lot about The Walking Dead, but we talk about many other things. We have a current events podcast we do every Tuesday. We have a random ramblings where we just talk about everything and nothing at the same time. And this one, which is Mail Call, where we answer your questions. Before we get to going, make sure you follow JP on Periscope. Just JP Slim, all lowercase, no spaces. Just search JP Slim. He does some really cool, fun, intimate periscopes.
Oh, yeah. Got real muffed up the other night and made tacos.
I love tacos.
Yeah.
And being muffed up's not too bad either. So
no,
nice little combination.
Yep.
Also, you can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Periscope. It's just I'm Justin Lloyd, all lowercase, no apostrophes, 2 L's in Lloyd. Just I'm Justin Lloyd. Again, Snapchat, Instagram, and Periscope. So let's get to answering some questions. Longtime listener out the gate, Jovi Gal says, I have been bad at commenting on your podcast as of late. Fail, I know. You're okay, Jovi. We know you're there.
Yeah, we know you're there. We feel you.
We know you love us. So, and we love you too. She says, okay, fantasy dinner party lineup. You can invite 3 people, living, dead, or for fun, fictional characters to a dinner party. Who and why? Also, maybe for next week, same question, but within the Walking Dead universe. Okay, so JP, I know that you don't like these thinking activities.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit sharper this morning. So let's see. I want Larry David there. If you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know that chaos will ensue. I want Hunter S. Thompson there because
I knew Hunter S. Thompson was going to be on that list. I swear to God, I knew
lots of great stories, and he's going to bring lots of drugs, obviously. Who else? We need some butt at the table. We need a hottie.
I was going to say, you got 2 of your favorite male people. Yeah. How about pick one of your dream girls?
And plus Hunter S. Thompson and Larry David, 2 fellow bald icon. Well, I'm not a bald icon. I'm not bald yet, and I'm definitely not an icon. But
I don't know. You got that haircut kind of short yesterday. You ain't bald, but it's pretty low.
Oh, yeah, it's getting there. I'm more bald than not bald. But anyway, that aside, yeah, we need some butt at the table. We need some butt at the table.
So whose butt's going to sit at the table?
Let's see. Whose butt is going to be pulled right up as I'm carving that turkey. And yes, that is a euphemism for, anyway, Jeez, man, I'm trying. The dudes were easy, man. The dudes were easy.
They always are.
Yeah, I know I am.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Norah Jones, isn't that her name?
Norah Jones?
The singer? Isn't that her name?
Yeah.
She got that beautiful Indian skin, great voice, succulent lips, and I'm sure she's got some great stories. She's duetted with Willie, who, by the way, needs to be there as well.
Oh no, you only get 3.
Oh geez, I only get 3.
You only get 3. So if you're gonna bring Willie, you got to sub out Hunter S. Thompson or Larry David, unless you want to sub out Norah Jones.
Oh man. Yeah, well, Hunter S. is already bringing the dope, so Willie, I'm sorry. But, no, we'll stick with Norah S. Jones. Norah S. Jones. Norah Jones.
Norah Jones. So Norah Jones, Larry David, and Hunter S. Thompson. That's your 3 that you would have dinner with.
That's it.
Not a bad lineup. I bet the conversation would be really interesting. You could make a podcast out of that itself. For me, I don't know. That's so tough because I'll think of three, and then tonight I'll think of three. Like, why didn't I think of this person?
It's rough, right?
This is off the top of the head. Like, I don't have any time to plan this because I'm sure there would be other people in there. I'm feeling like JP this morning. I'm like, I don't know.
It's a tough one. Jovi always exercises our mental capacity.
Her and Brienne. Brienne asked some. Brienne, I think Brienne, Jeep, and Jovi are the ones that give us the good brain teasers that make us really think.
Is Jovi Gal Vixie Bixie on Periscope? Okay, yes. Yeah. So we were just having a talk about. She was on my Periscope when I was cooking tacos the other night. You know, they have old El Paso taco kits in New Zealand where she lives.
Oh, yeah, is that right?
Yeah. How do you like that?
I love El Paso taco kits.
You know what? I'm changing. No Nora Jones, Jovi Gal is going to be at my dinner party.
Oh.
Me, Hunter S. Thompson, Larry David, and Jovi Gal.
That's so sweet. Yeah, now I'm going to look like a douchebag if I don't pick one of the listeners.
I don't know. I was just picking Nora Jones kind of out of nowhere.
Honestly,
she is very beautiful, though.
If I could pick three, I would pick like three of our listeners. I mean, I hate to pick between them because there's so many, loyal listeners, but I would just love to to meet some of these people. I mean, like, you got Dan Ashdown would be a good
listeners, one. Yeah, Dan Ashdown for sure. He looks
Brienne,
like
Jeep. Of course, you got Alex. There's so many. Ryan, like I said, Jovi. Sanburbia Pictures. So I'm not going to do listeners just because there's so many of you to pick from, and I don't want you to feel like I like one more than the other because I love all of you so much.
I'm telling you, man. One day when we get big enough, we're going to have like a big party just for all the long-time listeners.
I was going to say, we're going to have a big VIP party, and what's going to happen is we're just going to go back and invite, these people that we knew from the beginning who have stayed with us through the boring-ass podcast.
Yeah.
Of course, as somebody said, I love Sarah Paulson, so I probably would have her.
Yeah, dude.
But that wouldn't be my butt because she's not into guys, so I'm definitely not getting her there for that.
Man, you've got a penis. Penises are powerful. All right.
Power of the penis.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Sarah Paulson, Steve Carell.
Okay.
I just think that he seems like a very interesting, funny guy. And another one. I feel like this is going to suck. I feel like I need to reach way back to some like childhood inspirations, but I'm just thinking of people today.
Think on it. We'll come back to this question.
Probably, Sarah Paulson, Steve Carell, and Mookie Betts.
Who is Mookie Betts?
He plays
a baseball player.
Yeah, he plays for the Red Sox. He is like one of my favorite. He's just a stand-up guy. He's just an all-around awesome dude. Great ball player.
He was just on an old episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm I watched the other night.
Mookie Betts?
Yeah, Mookie.
Are you serious?
Larry David had to get an autographed baseball for his buddy Jeff. And I'm pretty, they might not have actually showed Mookie. I know they showed that, who was the guy on the Mets or whatever? I don't know if it was the Mets, but it was the World Series and the ground ball went between his legs and it lost him the game.
Shit. I know who you're talking about.
Was he on the Red Sox? I don't know who he was on, but he was actually in the episode. Larry David met him because he was at this convention to get Mookie's autograph.
Yeah, man, Mookie's awesome.
Weird how things all turned around.
And that's so hard to do. I think that what we need to do is we need to go back and do a Mail Call All-Stars podcast where we take some of these old questions that we answered on the fly and revisit them and see what we would change. Because, obviously there's a lot of dead baseball players I'd love to talk to. Obviously Babe Ruth. Yeah. It's a lot of them out there. So
yeah, man.
Just off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Mookie Betts, Sarah Paulson, and Steve Carell.
If I was going to invite one athlete, because I'm not into sports at all, it would probably be Tiger Woods, just because I know he's into drugs and hookers.
Right. Oh yeah. Right up your alley.
Yeah. Even though he wasn't even like into drugs, wasn't he? Just like doing Ambien or something.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know. He could leave the hookers and just go about his way.
I feel like JP's answer was much better than mine, so I'm going to think on that. Maybe by the end of the podcast, I'll revisit that. Alex Jimenez says, "Hey guys, love the show, and I'm always pumped to hear you guys do the mail call. My question: if you could have a date night with any lady in a superhero movie, who would you go with, and what would you do?"
Oh, snap. So
I got mine out the gate.
So we're talking about like characters from superhero movies.
Yep.
Is that what we're doing?
Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, and I think you know what we'd be doing, as long as she consents, of course.
Golly, them legs, man.
She's just gorgeous. She's just a beautiful woman. Like front to back. Even take away, she's just got a gorgeous face. She seems like she's got a wonderful personality. She's a damn good Wonder Woman. Definitely Wonder Woman. I mean, Black Widow is a close second.
Yeah. I think for me, it'd be Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns.
Going back.
That skin tight that's my favorite Batman movie, man. Live action. My favorite Batman movie of all time was Mask of the Phantasm from the animated series. Saw that in theaters. Great movie, but I can't have sex with the cartoon, so we're going with Michelle Pfeiffer, Batman Returns.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. But like I said, I also think Scarlet Witch is gorgeous. The Olsen, Elizabeth Olsen, she's beautiful. But just Gal Gadot, man. Oh, Gal Gadot. I don't know how you say her last name right, but she's...
And I'm just going to say it while I'm making love to a Michelle Pfeiffer. I want Danny DeVito to watch in full penguin costume.
Then it would turn into an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it probably would.
Ryan Owen says, if you could swap 2 character deaths to better improve the show, who would you choose? I'd say, for example, Ryan would swap out Carl and Henry. Henry, only being a kid out helping people, would have an impact on people after being bit. But most importantly, Daryl not protecting Carl after losing Rick could send his story into something we've not seen before, a darker, more sinister side to him. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks, guys. Keep up the awesome work. # never forget Ray.
Who's Ray?
Who's Ray? I mean, I know Ken is one that we talk about, the little kid that died at the beginning of the season. But
dude, it's hard enough.
Ryan,
to keep up with,
please tell us who Ray is. I don't know if was Ray on the. I don't know. So all right. So if you could swap 2 character deaths, what would you do? So basically, he would swap Carl and Henry. So Henry, I guess, would have gotten bit and turned, and then Carl would have ended up with his head on a spike, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. That would have given us a lot less time with Henry, which I would have been happy with. But seeing his head on that pike was so satisfying, man. I don't think I'd trade it. I don't think I would trade it.
So who would you trade?
Who would I trade? That's what
death? Mine would be Carl. I would switch. I think Carl was killed Actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Well,
I've got mine.
All right, go for yours.
Okay,
then.
I would swap Sasha with Andrea, and not so much.
Oh my God!
I know you're going to give me the Andrea hate.
Oh my God!
But man, I was never like a Sasha super fan. I mean, she did have some cool storylines, but I think her getting killed in that season of what was it, 3 or 4?
When Andrea died?
When Andrea died.
It was in the season 3.
Into 3. I think, and Sasha had been introduced. Sasha and Tyrese and all them, they had been introduced.
Yeah, they came in. They came in season 3.
I think Sasha dying like that at the hands of the governor would have made Tyrese into way more of a badass, and I think Tyrese would have stuck around longer. He wouldn't have been such a, I don't want to call him such a softie.
I could, okay,
and
you know
what?
I'd
still have, Andrea around.
I wouldn't want Andrea to make it all the way to season 7 because Andrea was absolutely horrible, one of the worst characters of any show I've ever watched.
I'm not going to get into this debate with you, but keep going, go ahead.
But I do agree with you on the Sasha dying at the hands of the governor so we could get this on. Because in the comics, Tyrese was a badass, but spoiler alert, but somebody very close to him was killed, and he just went straight savage. Like you saw what he really could do.
Yeah.
So we would have been cool to see, Tyrese just go ballistic on the governor and his people.
Yeah, man. And the whole thing with Sasha in the coffin and her, I don't know, man. I thought it was a little convoluted. And I liked the standoff with Rick ready to blow up Eugene and all of them, but just the whole Sasha in the coffin, it felt very 90s WWF. I don't know. Sasha was
one of those characters I did not like, but I didn't love either. It wasn't that I disliked her on the show, and it was sad to see her go. But at the same time, she's one that I never really got that attached to. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna lie, when Rick had his little vision, when he was on his way out. Mm-hmm. Sasha's, I thought Herschel, of course, I thought would have been the most tear-jerking, but to be honest, Sasha's was beautiful. Everything she said was just so deep and poetic, you know what I mean? The way she's everything ends, but it's not the end. What does she say? All things end, but it's not the end of everything. Something to that effect. And so I really, really thought she did a great job on that part. I don't know.
I didn't really absorb it like that. I don't know. I think I was just kind of let down because, you're waiting for the final cameo and you're gotta be Glenn, even though we knew Glenn wasn't going to be there. And then it's Sasha and you're just for me.
I would have loved to have seen Glenn. Like I said, when Sasha did pop up, I think even if you go back to that podcast, we did even say, what was the deal with Sasha? It wasn't until my second or third or fourth viewing.
And you analyzed.
Oh, yeah. I've watched that. That's why I really wish we had time. If we were able to make this our full-time thing, dude, I would watch each episode like 4 times before we reviewed it. It's just really hard to, to get everything on the nail, just watching it that once and then coming in and doing this on a break at work. But no, after like my third or fourth time through, man, I realized how deep the thing Sasha was saying. Well, I mean, it was beautiful, honestly. I mean, it really and truly, though Sonequa Martin Green did a wonderful job, it really should have been Glenn telling, because Glenn was always kind of the moral compass, and it should have been Glenn telling Rick these things. And I feel like they wrote that for Glenn, but Stephen Yin just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Who would I swap? I think it's either going to be Carl or Jesus. Okay. And I get that Jesus wanted to be written off the show, which was completely the fault of the writers, because he had done all this training, was ready to be the comic Jesus that everyone loved, and they just never gave him a chance to really do anything, But part of me would like to have seen Jesus, like I wish that with Angela Kang at the helm, I feel like if he didn't want to be written off, we would have finally started getting some badass Jesus.
Yep.
So if I could swap 2 people, it would probably be Jesus and let's think. I don't know. Well, that's not really swapping. Dude, that's tough. That's tough because we're talking about switching their deaths, not saving one of them.
Right.
He's talking about swapping their deaths.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one to get you thinking. Herschel and Merle. Imagine Merle with Daryl right there. Merle being the one to get his head chopped off at the hands of the governor. Like, can you imagine? Like, I honestly thought the Daryl Merle reveal where Merle was dead was a little underwhelming. It was sad, but it just didn't hit me the way I thought it would. Whereas if you had Daryl sitting right there and, Merle's on his knees and like Merle, whatever, had done something, that could be a cool switch. I mean, it would suck because Herschel would have died a lot earlier on, but I mean, that would have been emotional to have Merle on his knees and like before he dies, as hard as he is, like he tells Daryl, he loves him or whatever, like, says something smart ass to Daryl and then that would have hurt.
So I wonder how that, Merle's death, I wonder how that would have went down.
Herschel would have went badass.
Would he have been drinking the whiskey and just, because he was a badass, just, was an old man. Or maybe he would have been like, he would have left out before anyone took Michonne to the governor and just been like, if you want a hostage, you're going to have to settle with me.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
That's a tough one. Good question, Ryan. Good thought on that. Keegan Engel says, why don't you guys try to make money off these podcasts? I've always wondered. Well, I'm glad you asked.
That's a good question.
We are going to definitely start a Patreon soon, because if we could start making a little money off of this, we could start giving you guys a much better quality podcast. I would love to have the time and the things I need to do better video editing to make the video go along with what we're saying. And I mean, it's a far off dream, but it would be amazing to amass enough listeners to make enough money to make this a career. I mean, if this was our job, oh my God, it would good content you would get if my job was just that.
Like straight up video podcast too, like Joe Rogan or whatever.
That's what eventually that's the end game. We would love to be able to have like a 2 or 3 camera podcast. Like, we were talking about 1 camera on JP, 1 camera on me, 1 camera on both. And I could actually go through and edit to, if like while I'm talking, it would come to me. And then if JP's replying, it would go to his camera. But we just, essentially, we just started off just having fun. But as we continue, we definitely plan to start doing something to make a little money, maybe monetizing or advertising, because we want to do a Patreon and we want to give you guys a chance to get some really cool stuff and some extra content for your, for the donations.
And keep in mind, that money is all going right into the pod. You're essentially investing in this podcast. It's not like we're buying new sneakers with it or something.
We said that too, like to each other off mic, like 2 years ago. We were like, if we ever do start a Patreon or we start doing this, we need to make sure the first big, when we start making money off of it, all that money at first should go straight into the podcast, like a nice editing laptop, a nice mic setup, something. Yep. So, we absolutely have the intention to take that money and reinvest it into the podcast. So if the day comes where we're pointing you to our Patreon, just know it's not money we're sticking in our pockets. We want to give you better content. Because, if this was our full-time job, imagine the different types of, we could crank out 2 or 3 podcasts I'm not saying we'd release them every day, but we could record multiple podcasts 2 or 3 times a week and give you 7 days worth of content. You might get sick of us at that point, but still, it's an option.
It'd be there.
Our good pal Dan Ashdown says, I've been meaning to post this for weeks, but keep forgetting or not having the time. So you're in a zombie apocalypse. You get to choose 2 items to take with you. 1 melee weapon, 1 gun, and 1 vehicle. You don't have to worry about ammo or fuel for the items you choose. You have unlimited amounts of. You already have food and water. What would you choose and why? Keep up the good podcast, guys. Been helping me get through a hectic time at work. Well, I hope that gets better for you, Dan.
Yeah, me too.
I really appreciate you listening, man.
For sure.
Definitely. So you get to pick 1 melee weapon. You get to pick 1 gun and 1 vehicle. JP, what are they going to be?
A melee weapon. We're talking about just something to go crazy, like a battle axe or
whatever. Baseball bat, a mace, a sword, a machete, whatever you want. One thing that you have to swing with your hand.
I'd go with some kind of sword for sure, whether it be a samurai or like a broadsword. Because a broadsword, I mean, we're talking about like Highlander kind of stuff. That's going to be a heavy sucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want anything too heavy. You might have to swing in a pinch, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I might go with the samurai sword. I think the 12-gauge sawed-off shotgun. I don't know much about guns, and if it was a 9mm, I don't know how to clean it and all the buttons and stuff. It has buttons on it, right?
Not really, no. I mean, you have the button to release the magazine, right? That's about it.
So yeah, just being that'd be something I'm most familiar with. I think the 12-gauge shotty, and a Bronco, a Ford Bronco. I don't know what year, what make and model. Maybe the smaller one, just to you don't want anything too big and bulky. You might be driving through some debris and stuff. So yeah, that'd be what I'd go with.
For mine, see, my melee weapon's tough because I don't know. Like, it would either be my Ontario RTAC 2, which is it's got an 11-inch blade on it, so it's not machete length. But it's not too long. It's not, you don't want something super long and unwieldy because, I mean, say you've got them. That's why I always laugh with Michonne when she goes through narrow hallways with her sword, which, I mean, it's Michonne, so she could make it work. Right. But, you imagine a zombie comes right at you and you got to get that sword up, and somehow with the 11-inch blade, I can swing it and I know it would, do what it needs to do. But I could also take it if I needed to, point it up and stab with it. It gives me more. But also, it's between my Ontario RTAC 2, my Kershaw Camp 14, which is I got a 14-inch blade on it, or my Schrade Priscilla, which is a really dope sword-looking machete they've got. And actually, if you look at tests on YouTube, it's actually very affordable. It's like $30, $40, and it's ridiculously tough. I mean, you can like baton with it. I mean, people have put it through hell, and it keeps going. I think at the end of the day, the RTAC 2 is just a little. I think I'm going to go. You know what? At the end of the day, I think I'm going to go with the Kershaw Camp 14. Got a 14-inch blade on it, so it's not ridiculously, because the Priscilla's a little bit longer. That's got like a much longer blade on it. Yeah. So Kershaw Camp 14, if you don't know what that is, just Google it. I also have the Kershaw Camp 10, which is a shorter version. But I don't know. It breaks my heart not to take my RTAC 2.
I'm telling you, man, the apocalypse comes, you're going to be like Danny Trejo and Machete. You're just going to open up this trench coat, and there's just going to be blades everywhere. Oh,
no doubt. If you saw my blade collection, you would definitely think that I was a psycho, but I just have been collecting blades for a long time. Probably, I don't know. That's so tough. I hate to be so indecisive. You know what? At the end of the day, I am going to go with the Ontario RTAC 2.
There you go.
The 11-inch blade. So that's my melee. My gun, actually, I'm with JP on this one to an extent. Do you say a sawed-off double-barrel 12-gauge?
I didn't say a double-barrel.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm going to go with I've got a Remington 8. Well, I've got a AIC Eagle, which is a Chinese clone of the Remington 870 that has an 18-inch barrel on it. But this scenario, so Ontario RTAC 2 for melee. For gun, I would take a Remington 870.
Okay.
And if we're talking about unlimited ammo, then I imagine that maybe it won't jam or anything like that. So if that's the case, then the semi-automatic. But I would want a tacked out Remington 870 with like an 18-inch barrel, so it's not too wide. Because the thing is, a lot of people think, like in The Walking Dead, they make some of the most improbable headshots ever.
Oh yeah.
And my general rule with zombies would be, if it's not close enough to pose an immediate threat, just pass it by.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be taking pot shots with my AR-15 or my 9mm or my 45. I just want something with a lot of power, destructive, that if one gets up on me in a pinch, it'll blow its ass on back.
Right.
Or definitely, it makes it easier to land those headshots. You got that spread, you know what I'm saying? So you can aim at the head and you know you've got a shot. So
it's good for hunting too.
Absolutely.
I probably wouldn't go with a sawed-off. I said that because it just sawed-offs look cool, you know. I always think of Lorenzo Lamas and Renegade, but...
Yeah, so the RTAC 2, the Ontario RTAC 2, the only thing I worry about is that's a carbon steel, I believe. Because I don't know about the Priscilla, but the two blades I mentioned have carbon steels. And the problem with carbon steels are they're sharper, they're usually tougher, they're easier to sharpen. There's lots of advantages, but one big disadvantage.
What is it?
They all rust pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
You have to maintain them, so you've got to find some kind of like rust inhibitor or something. But at the end of the day, it takes longer than we'll be alive for it to rust beyond use.
Yeah.
I might not be able to cut up my food with it, but it's still going to slice through zombie heads. But so RTAC 2, Remington 870 with an 18-inch barrel. I would prefer one that's tacked out, got the pistol grip and the buttstock. And then for my vehicle, I like what you said, the Bronco. Part of me wants to say a nice off-road package Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
Or an actual Army Humvee. My dad said, not the civilian Humvees that you see. My dad used to drive like the Army Humvees, and he said, man, those things will go through anything.
Oh, yeah,
they'll go through rivers. They'll go up. He said he's went up hills in those things that almost look just a little shy of 90 degrees, and that bad boy just climbs right on up. So, but I worry that it's so wide, it would be hard if you got in a pinch and you need to duck through and, narrow. So I'm going to go with the Jeep Wrangler. Off-road package Jeep Wrangler.
There you go.
Hard top, because the zombies would rip right through the soft top.
Yeah.
So there you go, Dan. Sorry mine was so long and drawn out, but these are the things that we've thought about before, and now I'm like, oh, God, it's time to use that useless thinking that we've done. We've got Kate D'Amico. Sorry. Would you rather put together a 30,000-piece jigsaw puzzle or read the dictionary cover to cover?
I'd never finish either one, so it really doesn't matter.
I'm going to go with dictionary because I've always been a big reader, man. Like I was joking because my girlfriend we're looking at like books to get for our daughter or whatever, when she's born and stuff. My girlfriend's like, "What did you read when you were little?" I was like, "The encyclopedia." And she's like, "No, for real." And I mean, I had kids' books, but you could ask my mom. Like, we had this whole collection. It was like a 12-piece encyclopedia set on our bookshelf in the living room. And every night, I won't doing nothing. I'd pull it out and just read it cover to cover, and then go.
That's wild, man. Your daughter will never even know what an encyclopedia is.
Nope, just Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would pick the dictionary, but because I'm not going to lie, I put together a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle last year, and it about drove me insane.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with dictionary. Thank you so much for listening, Kate. You're awesome. Brian Akeem, thanks for always always putting my questions. You're welcome, Brian. Thank you for asking them. From Brian also, do you think that the Kingdomers fighting over food, falling through the ice, and or getting attacked by wolves could have made the finale more interesting? Oh, yeah, without a doubt. It's a bit more exciting, but I mean, I liked the finale. It was laid back and slow, but I didn't mind it. I've heard from a lot of people they thought it was too slow, but I didn't mind it.
Well, I didn't even look at it as a finale. I think the Pike episode was the finale. That episode was the epilogue.
Good way to look at it.
It's just a wrap up.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. But yeah, I mean, I think, those would have all been tough scenarios. Which one would you have rather seen? So let's say that we're in the writer's room right now and we're writing this episode. And I'm like, all right, JP, so we want some big moment of turmoil to add some excitement. What do you think we should go? Kingdomers fighting over food, or should we have them falling through ice, or what about wolves attacking them? Which I'm not going to lie, they're in Virginia. I don't think wolves are that big of a threat around here.
I could see maybe like a pack of wild dogs or something.
Or like rabid coyote or something, but the wolves, I don't think you see much of in this area, which they could have migrated with the absence of large human populations. Maybe they've migrated and started taking back the land. But so, which one of those three would you go for?
Falling through the ice, the wolves. What was the other one?
The Kingdomers fighting each other over food.
I would have fighting over food because I think it might have led to some cannibalism.
I would have picked fighting over food just because it would have drawn some lines in the sand. You know what I mean? We might have had a split from the group. And nothing, honestly, one of my favorite villains in any story is one that used to be close with the hero. You know what I mean? Like, it just always makes a more compelling story.
Professor X and Magneto.
Right, yes. If you can write a villain that, and that's something, I really didn't like many of the X-Men movies, but that's one thing I always loved that they did was showed Magneto's respect for Professor X. Like when... I think they were in the woods and somebody said something about Professor X kind of snooty, and he turned around and real stern was like, he's not a
he's
whatever.
Done more for mutants than you could ever imagine.
Right, that's like that. It. Yes, yes. Like and then when you could tell how sad he genuinely was when the Phoenix killed Professor X. So that to me always makes the best enemies that used to be used to be friends or close. So having some lines drawn and maybe a couple of Kingdomers that we know and like becoming the new villains, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Let's see. Ethan LaQuay. I hope I said that right. Hey, you guys, first time commenting. Well, Ethan, please continue to comment. If we can keep getting comments and questions, we will continue to do mail calls.
Keep it rolling.
Found you guys a few months ago and loved the content. Justin, you said you like to fish. What is your favorite fish to catch? No, wait. What kind of fish do you have in your area, and what is your favorite fish to catch? I'm from northern New York and fish for northern pike, tiger muskie, small and largemouth bass. Well, one thing, Ethan, thank you so much for the question, but JP also loves to fish about as much as I do.
I haven't done it in a few years now, but yeah, that used to be like my hobby of choice.
Some of my friends are like, what happened to you? You used to like to fish, because when we go kayaking, I don't fish as much. And I'm like, well, when I'm kayaking, man, I'm more concerned with drinking beer, floating, and listening to music. Yeah. And plus, it's just when you're on a kayak versus a boat, you got to like put your rod here.
That sounds.
Mine's not really set up. I actually am considering buying a fishing kayak, which then I would fish some, because I could have my rod in the rod holder and it wouldn't be all. But JP also really likes to fish. So JP, around here, we have a lot of small, largemouth bass.
Yeah, we got the bass. We got a crappie, bluegill,
a lot of
channel
brim.
Cats. And a lot of catfish. We got blue cats, flathead catfish, channel cats. No, I'm not saying I've seen a walleye come out of the river. They're definitely not. I don't think they're native. I don't know. There's definitely few and far between.
Did you say garfish yet?
Yeah, we got some gar.
We got a lot of gar. I actually got bit by a gar one time.
Yeah, suckers. I don't know if there's a more technical name for them, but we got suckers.
Garfish, man. I actually might have a video of it. My friend, I know he Snapchatted it. I don't know if he saved it, but we were kayaking one time, and the river was time when it hadn't rained much. So the river was getting narrow in some places.
Yeah.
And there were so many garfish piled on top of each other that I literally took my paddle, like as I was going through, and like pushed a bunch of them away. Like touched them with my paddle and was pushing them away. Man. And these were about as long as my arm.
Those
big
things
suckers.
Big.
But yeah, so we said crappie, large smallmouth bass, cat. Yeah, we've. That's pretty much it. We don't have any like pike or anything.
I was on the lake. It's been many years ago, but I had a gar on the line. Like it came up to the top of the water, but just those teeth, the line broke and it swam off. And I was kind of relieved, man. I was not looking forward to getting in that mouth with all those teeth.
I'm not gonna lie. So to the animal people, you're gonna hate this, but one time I pulled a gar in.
Oh yeah.
I just finished him off.
Just killed him.
Because the thing is, garfish will kill. Number one, there's no shortage of them around here. Number two, if they're in your fishing area, there are going to be no fish. If you catch a garfish, you might as well pack it up that day, because if there's garfish in that water, unless it's maybe like a fast-moving stream and he just happened to be coming by, but you get garfish frequently, and there's not going to be anything else in that area. Garfish kill for fun. They're at
the top of the food chain.
They're just bastards. So, but yeah, I was crossing a river one time, and I'm not 100% sure it was a garfish, but it was a river where we knew there were garfish in the waters previously, and something bit the crap out of my leg.
Jeez.
And I mean, it had like little puncture marks, so we just assumed that had to be a garfish. I don't know what else has teeth like that, because they have long, pointy teeth. Brianne McCann says, which has moved up a little bit now, 121 views, but not 121 questions? Oh, come on, guys. Give these guys something to talk about, or just call me the unofficial cheerleader for you guys. Brianne, we know you are, and we love you so much. JP, she says, okay, I'll address the penis comment. I'd say average in size. Don't want a man killing my cervix, LOL, but no pencil penis either.
No.
Circumcised look better visually, but I've had both with no issues, winky face. JP is kind of freaked out by uncircumcised.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Winkies.
I don't like them. But I know we had brought that up and we were talking about, girth versus length versus this versus that. So, yeah, well, that's good to know. That's good to know. I am taking notes. Not for my use, just, for general knowledge.
Also from Brianne, I guess she commented this one first, but she says, hello, my favorite podcast dudes. I'm not sure if this is a deep question like some of the others, but what are your phobias? And tell us a story where you were confronted with that phobia. Mine are spiders and driving on the freeway. Horrible experience on the freeway when I was only 17. Had to cross over 5 lanes that were merging to get to my exit, and I swore I was going to die as cars were coming at me. I'm sure it's much more dramatic in my head. For spiders, my brothers, I have 4, used to take hair from a brush and put it in my face as I slept to freak me out. Pretty much if you have 8 legs, you will be dead if I can help it. Have a great weekend to you both. JP, phobias and how you've confronted them?
I don't know that I really have phobias. I mean, I definitely deal with the anxiety and stuff, but, just from certain social situations and what have you. But you just, you kind of live and learn how to, adjust to stuff like that.
I feel you on the anxiety, man. Whew.
Yeah. Phobias, I don't know, man.
You've confronted it by going on stage and doing things in front of people. I mean, JP really shocked me because when we hired him at the station, I really wanted to fit him in somewhere, but at the time I completely misjudged and didn't know exactly where he would fit in. I didn't think he'd be a front man. And then I remember I was doing a live broadcast and he tagged along and I had to get on the mic and talk to the crowd. What was it, like a drawing for prizes or something?
Yeah.
And I asked JP, I was like, you want to go once? And he just took the mic and just blew my mind. And pretty much from that point on, I was like, okay, you're going to get a morning show and we're going to blah, 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 blah. But, you do confront your fear of anxiety in that scenario, I know, as far as you do get in front of people. And even though you're probably nervous to be in front of them, you just seem like you're just having a blast.
Just got to let it rip,
Mine would probably be spiders freaked me out, but they've never really been a phobia. I mean, you just step on them and they die.
Right.
I have two big fears. I think 2 of the biggest fears I have are heights and drowning. Which are both very ironic because I love to hike up mountains and I also love swimming. So it's I guess confronting my fear. I've never really confronted my fear of drowning. I mean, if you dunk my head under the water, I'm going to break your nose or whichever part of your face I can get to first. I don't play. Somebody comes up behind me and holds me under the pool. We're going to rumble when we get out that water. But heights, I mean, I guess I confront my fear of heights pretty often because I love hiking and I love going to like I did this past Saturday or the last 2 Saturdays actually. I've hiked up to the top of a mountain and then went right toward had lunch right towards the edge and stood at the edge and hung my feet over the edge. So I guess that's confronting my fear of heights to an extent. But yeah, good question. Jonas Balili, I hope I said that right. Longtime listener as well. Which part of the world would you like the Walking Dead universe to explore? I wish they'd experience Island Paradise, possibly in Hawaii for a season and a half. That is interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Where would you like to see it go?
Someplace like India or China, like someplace that's really overpopulated, kind of like third world conditions. Places where people are already kind of living in hell. Not that India is wonderful, but I'm just saying, a place with a big population, a lot of poverty. Yeah. Something like that.
I feel like they might, other than the only thing against them is the tremendous number of zombies, but I feel like they might be more adept to kind of survival in the sense, maybe not zombie killing, but just having a scrape to make it. I'm going to go with JP's answer. It's a great quote. Just somewhere very heavily populated. New York City would be cool to see.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Moving on to Brian Rogalski. Justin, talking about the flag thing. You asked on Twitter. We aren't friends on Facebook. I don't use it much. My Facebook must still be, I haven't even signed into Twitter in a long time. So my Twitter must still be linked to my Facebook. I had it set a while back to where everything I posted on Facebook also posted on Twitter. That must have been how it got there. So cool to know that's still going. Jeep, if you guys ever want to check out a silly yet oddly entertaining zombie show, you should watch the Santa Clarita Diet. Santa Clarita Diet?
I've heard about that on Netflix.
Season 3 just started on Netflix. My girlfriend watched it. I liked it. It was silly. I like Timothy Olyphant, the guy that's in it, and then Drew Barrymore's in it too.
Oh, nice.
But I actually didn't sit down and watch it much. I have to give that a try. What infamous? This is from James Galagos. What famous or infamous moment in history would you like to witness?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Drop me at Woodstock. I'll chill at Woodstock. That was a historical moment. I mean,
big time.
Yeah,
definitely in the music history.
I don't know, man. I'd really like to go to like prehistory though. Like that's the building of the pyramids and all that stuff. Going. Which I know that wasn't like a moment that took place over years and decades and centuries. But
I'd like to go back to the moment when man discovered fire, just to see their reaction. You know what I mean? I feel like that's not what he wants, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, or the Big Bang. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about time travel, so maybe universal observation is not out of the realm of possibility here. But the Big Bang, you know what I mean? Or when the comet hit Earth, and that's a good question, James. There's a lot. I really don't know that I can think of one.
Yeah, man.
I'd love to see Washington cross the Delaware.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, something that we don't really like, something that's still very mysterious. We've talked about lost civilizations before.
Right.
I'd like to see exactly how far back, stuff goes. Yeah. If there really was an Atlantis, which I think there was. But
the first time two humans had sex.
Oh, man. I'd like to get in on that.
Oh, thank you for your question, Jeep.
Neanderthal.
Or no, that was James. Sorry. Thank you, James.
Magnum.
Like I said, we might go back through and do an all-star of these, take some of these really thought-out questions and give ourselves a few weeks to write down some answers, and then we'll present them. SSS RCR85 says, have you guys read World War Z? I bought it a few years ago but never read it. I bought it and I never read it.
I'm pretty sure I got through the whole thing on audiobook.
Is it a story? Because he also has like the same guy wrote a How to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse book I bought in the humor section just for the hell of it.
World War Z, from what I remember, it's basically like a journalist going around interviewing all these different people. I think
that's kind of how the survival book was. It had journal and like fake interview sections and stuff.
I think it takes place after the zombie apocalypse, and this guy's like going back through his interviews and like writing a book. It's something like that.
Yeah,
it's had some good stuff in there. The audiobook was pretty killer.
Jeep says, wow, looks like I'm the first commenter today. If I had to go to a deserted island, I would probably take water, preferably canned goods, a knife, not a book, but a newspaper. That way I could at least have something to wipe my butt on. I wouldn't be like Mr. and Mrs. Howell on the Gilligan's Island and bring useless stuff. Mail call. If you could live on the set of any movie or TV show, what would it be? The reason why JP likes cats so much is probably because he wishes he was one so he could lick his own junk.
Oh, man, that would be great. But dogs can do that too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be convenient. That's a good question.
So what movie or TV set would you want to live on?
Mine would probably, Game of Thrones or Lost or The Walking Dead would be really cool. I probably, if I had to narrow it down, I'm going to go to Lost. I'd love to live on the set of Lost. And number one, that was filmed mostly in Hawaii, too. So it's Hawaii.
Man, that's tough. That is really tough.
I feel like you'd want to say The Sopranos or something, but that's just pretty regular life stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I would want to go somewhere where they're having fun. I'm gonna get a pass. I'm gonna come back to that.
All right, we got one more question on this, and then one or two more that I saw that we'll address on other videos. But so this one's pretty good. Phyllis says, Justin and JP, what is your earliest memory in life? What fictional character would you like to meet?
What fictional character?
Rick Grimes for me.
Okay, Tony Soprano. I don't know. And my earliest memory, I'm gonna have to really think about that. I don't know off the top.
You're not gonna believe mine.
Lay it on me.
And you know that I'm not. I'm not a mystical, out there kind of person. If anything, this sounds like something that you would present to me more than me present it to you.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm pretty sure, man, and it sounds crazy. But the thing is, I've been saying this since I was a child. So this isn't something I've just made up on the fly. I have a memory from before I was born. I remember.
What?
This is why I've always been fascinated with reincarnation.
Yeah.
I swear on my life, everything. I have this memory, and I can't really describe it in detail, but I have this memory of an aerial view of a desert town, like a old, not like Western. I'm talking like buildings are made of clay.
Yeah.
Like very, very old, like Anunnaki type stuff. I mean, Samoans type things. Right. Like I have this memory, And I asked my mom about it when I was little, and she has no clue what I'm talking about. And I can still, to this day, I can't remember much about being a kid, but I can remember a flash of like what it looked like. It was just an aerial, like swooping view, like I was lifting in a helicopter, but it didn't look like this would be a time where helicopters were there. But like I was just going up. And I just remember, and I remember I didn't just go up. I went up, and then I kind of went, I don't know, right or left. I think probably right. But I like went up and just kind of panned the city, and then I was born.
Yeah.
It was like, and I remember a specific blackness and that. And then blackness, and then that's it.
That's freaky, man. You should go to one of those hypnotherapists, like get deep in your subconscious, let them hypnotize you and really explore that.
But my mom did say, cool fact, when I was a kid, I did ask her, why did she let the doctor cut my penis? When I was seriously I called it my wee-wee.
Yeah.
But she said when I was seriously, like not even, I was like 6 or something, and I was like, why did you let the doctor cut my wee-wee? I don't remember it now, but at like 6, I remembered being a baby and having the doctor cut my penis.
Unless you had heard an adult talk about circumcision just in general.
That's the thing, though. Yeah. My mom's like, I don't know when you would have ever heard that, though. And I mean, kids in school, I can remember lots of childhood conversations about sex and all these taboo things. I never, as a child, heard about circumcision.
Yeah, that's what messes with me, man. Sometimes it's hard for me to distinguish what's a genuine memory and what's like a manufactured.
A lot of our memories are fabricated, even things that we think we remember clearly. But that's the thing, is like, I asked her that, and you're not supposed to, they say you don't retain memory until you're 2 or older. You know what I mean? Like the brain doesn't really, it's almost impossible to remember things before the age of 2. But apparently I remembered it at 6. And she said that, like, not only that, I'll try to get a clip from my mom next time I see her, and I'll play it on the podcast. But like, I didn't just say like I talked about it hurting. I talked about how bad it hurt.
Huh.
So really bizarre, man.
That's pretty wild.
Phyllis, thank you so much for your question. We're about to wrap this up, but first let me go back because we do have a question or two on other videos, and I want to make sure we get them. But yeah, so I remember the doctor. Pretty sure he used a katana when he did mine. Yeah, it was badass.
Huh.
Let's see. Was it on this one? By the way, if you haven't listened to our current events podcast this week, you should go check that out. That was a fun podcast this week.
We talked about some cool stuff. I can't remember any of what we talked about, but it was cool.
Let's see. Okay, so now it wasn't on that one. Let's check this one. Because we got one from earlier this week, I remember. JP, entertain them.
Huh?
Sing them a song.
Oh man, you know I can't sing. What do you think about Earl Thomas Conley dying?
That's sad. I mean, I didn't listen to much of his music, but
me neither.
It's always sad when someone leaves.
He's dead, deader than hell. But no, I don't go in for the, as kind of more of a sappier country artist. But a lot of people miss him.
All right, it was not that one. Was it on yesterday's? Let's see. Well, I know there was a question.
We can always screenshot it for next week's mail call.
You know what? Maybe it was on this one. Hold on. I think I found it. Maybe. Maybe not. Just to address something from Random Rambling Wednesday last Wednesday, I just want to throw out there because we got to talking about religion and things like that. And one girl said, it seems like you're really upset by, or it seems like, what did she say? Something like you seemed really annoyed by Christianity or something. We're not. That was just a conversation. I mean, you got to think conversations are steered by mood that day. Christianity does not bother me at all or annoy me or whatever it was that she'd said. I just want to put that out there. No, I have much love. Most of everyone that I know are pretty strong in their Christian beliefs.
That one was directed at you?
No, I mean, it said us, but I just want to make it. I'm not going to speak for you. That's why I'm saying.
I'll tell you straight up. There's a lot of things about Christianity I don't agree with, that annoy me, that I don't approve of. And, I'm not going to throw out specific examples, but no, there's a lot of stuff about just pretty much every religion that I think is wacky and dumb.
And see, I have a special place in my heart for Christianity because it was what I was raised on, and a lot of good people that I know are. So, no, I don't want you to think that I hate Christianity. I don't even know what I am. One day I might be Christian again. I don't know. I don't know that's why I say I don't know what I am religiously. I don't know right now. And somebody's like, what do you think? Like, the best way to describe it is that scene in Tombstone where Morgan asks, why do I always want to say Waylon Jennings? Wyatt. Morgan asks Wyatt, what do you think happens after we die? And Wyatt goes, I don't know, something. Nothing? Hell, I don't know. That's exactly the way I would describe what I think now. Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But no, so if that's you, don't, feel like that anything was aimed at you. But so that's going to wrap up this week's mail call. I'm sorry. I know that there was another question or two out there that I meant to get to, but I couldn't find it on the other videos. But just if you're listening to this, leave it in the comment section of this video. We do say you can leave them on other videos, but if you do, make sure you hashtag it mail call. That just makes it easier when we're scrolling through to find it. If not, put it on this video, and I guarantee you we'll get to it. But it's Thursday, so that wraps up our podcasting week.
Yeah, man, I'm happy about it. You're happy about it.
I'm happy about it. Good week. Can you Google real quick when Game of Thrones starts? Because if it does, we're going to be podcasting Monday about it, and if it starts next week, we'll be podcasting the following Monday. But when Game of Thrones starts, we're going to cover those 6 episodes as well. So make sure if you're a fan, you tune into that.
I really meant to go back and watch the whole series all over again, but
I wanted to, man. I gave up HBO, so I lost HBO on demand.
Oh,
so,
no,
yeah.
So how are you going to watch the Game of Thrones?
I'm going to go to a friend's house, or either I'll come in here. And didn't you say you can get it on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I got it on my Prime.
Yeah, so either way, it will be watched.
Yeah, man, that's one good. With the Amazon with The Walking Dead, I have to wait till the next day, but with the HBO, I can watch it as it airs. So yeah,
that's true.
Pretty cool.
Let's see.
I can't. April 14th.
April 14th. Okay, so that's not this week, right? No, it is. Yeah, that's this Sunday.
Oh, there you go.
So this Sunday. So Monday, be listening out for a Game of Thrones podcast. Oh, I'm excited, nervous, sad.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to hear someone butcher a lot of character names, I'm your guy.
Oh, me too, man. There's just so many characters on Game of Thrones, but we're going to do our best. It's more of a discussion anyways.
Yeah, it's just a good time.
We tell you, we're not the authority on it. We're not trying to be your one-stop shop, because there are many people that can give you much deeper detail than we can. We're just like you. We just enjoy talking about it.
That's it.
All right, so I guess that is going to wrap it up for us. Don't forget to go check out Me and JP, which is by our good friend Matt Crowder, written about himself and your very own JP right here.
That's right. You can download it anywhere. iTunes, Google Play.
Yep. Even if you don't like country music, it's still cool to hear a song written about the guy that you listen to on the podcast.
Yeah, and it's not like twangy country. It's just a real good song.
Storytelling, yeah. It's got a lot of different...
It's a great ballad.
Absolutely. So I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead.
And great is the day